Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about all the books I've read so far this summer. I will say, compared to last summer, it hasn't been as many, but I'm still really excited to talk about all the ones I've loved. I will say I've read most of these are from two different authors. We have 3 authors total. They're all fiction, they're all set in the summer. Like, oh my god, I'm just a girl, okay? First and foremost, Emily Henry, Happy Place. This is about a couple who split up and they're on a trip with a bunch of their friends and they're kind of keeping it hidden that they're no longer together. So they have to pretend that they're still together. And it just takes you along all the emotions that comes with that. Yeah, I think the banter is really, really good, and it takes you back in time to the start of their relationship with the parallel of this now ending relationship. So yeah, Emily Henry is just such a good writer. I love her books. And the next book I want to talk about, the thing about me is I tend to forget what books are about over time, just as I'm reading new ones and stuff. So it's always nice to go back and then get to remember everything again. It's really fun. So this is the latest book. I finished this yesterday. Beach read, Emily Henry. Oh, Augustus Everett in January. Oh, what I'm also so excited about is that a lot of Emily Henry's books are turning into adaptations. So they're either going to be shows or movies. Oh, I'm so excited. Almost all of her books, if not all of her books, are being turned into movies or shows, which are limited series probably, which I think is so cool. January is moving next door to Gus, and they knew each other from college, but neither of them wants to admit it. But then they finally admit it to each other, and they're both authors, and they basically are both in writing ruts, and they're trying to convince each other. They're trying to have each other write what each other normally writes. So January normally writes romance books, and Gus normally writes, like, what does he write? January writes more happy books, and Gus writes more, like, novels. Yeah, it's just fun to see them kind of challenge each other and push each other, but then ultimately fall in love. It's so sweet and cute. Next, I think this is my favorite book of Emily Henry's. There's some outside noise going on, but I kind of love it. It makes it more realistic. But this is about both of their exes end up engaged to each other. So Daphne's fiance Peter breaks up with her. Miles' fiance Petra breaks up with Miles. And then Peter and Petra get together. And then Daphne and Miles are kind of stuck to live with each other because it was Peter's house that Daphne was living in. And so obviously once they split, she moved out. So it's just about the story of Miles showing Daphne all around their town and just kind of making her fall in love with the place, which is Wanning Bay, Michigan. But they're basically experiencing breakups together, and they're experiencing Wanning Bay, Michigan together every week. So it's just really fun and heartfelt, and she's just the best at a summertime read. I love her books so much. Next, Abby Jimenez, Just for the Summer. I love this book. Okay, so this book is about Justin and Emma. And Justin has been known to date people, and then once they break up, the girls always fall in love with their true soulmate. So Justin's just like the buffer between all of their past relationships and meeting the one. And so Emma dates Justin, and he tells her this, but they still continue to date, and they both have their differences with their families, and Justin's raising all of his siblings because his mom is in prison. And so they both have toxic family issues, and so it's just navigating that and seeing what fate has in store. I love Abby Jimenez. I love her writing a lot. I love all of her books. And what's cool about her books is that you don't have to read the series in order to get all of the stories, but if you read all of them, all of the characters kind of make cameos and kind of blend into each other. All the storylines kind of sync, which is really nice. So it's so cute. And yeah, they only allow each other to have a certain limit of dates, so we think. Love. Next up is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Now, a lot of people say there are parallels between this book and Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I will say the storyline is really similar, but it's basically about visiting your past and running into familiar faces, familiar loves of your life in the process, and so it just takes you along that. And so Persephone is visiting Sam after his mom passed away, and Persephone had moved there when her mom died with her dad, and that's when she met Sam, and then they became inseparable, but then they split off once they went to college. But then Persephone comes back to visit Sam once his mom passes. And so it just kind of shows you two people going through similar experiences and kind of rekindling lost time. And I love it. I love this one. Okay, and then we have Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. This one I completely forgot what it was about, and then I read it within a couple days, and I really liked it. It's about Fern and Will, and Fern and Will had met in their lives when they were both in their early 20s, and they only had one day together, and they made the most of it. And I'm trying not to spoil it, so I'm definitely like paraphrasing, trying to kind of guide you in to convince you to get these books. They spent 24 hours together, and they basically told each other that a year from that date they would meet up again and kind of update each other on where their lives went. They both made lists saying what their goals were, and so they were gonna reflect on what they had done a year later. Only a year later never happened, and Fern is running her mom's resort, and Will ends up there in the process. And so it's basically just about Fern being able to handle Will for 3 weeks after not seeing him for 9 years. And she's also running this hotel, and just high stress, high emotion. Yeah. Last but not least, I think she's my favorite. This summer will be different. It's about Lucy and her best friend's brother, Felix, and their long-running history together of falling in love. So Felix and Bridget are the siblings that grew up on Prince Edward Island, and Lucy goes to visit Bridget one year, and that's when Lucy and Felix meet. Except when they met, she didn't realize that Felix was Bridget's brother. And so it's just navigating falling for your best friend's brother and kind of letting that keep you guys separated to protect the sibling. So it's best friend's brother trope in the summer. Just the way with all of these books is that they're just described and set in the summer, and these authors do such a good job of making you feel like you're in the story and in the place, and it brings a cozy element to the story, and it just, especially reading it in the summertime, is just perfect. I'm not the best at describing books, but I think I did an okay job. But I just wanted to share some of my favorite books, because why not? So I hope you enjoyed. This was short and sweet. I'll probably do like an end of summer what I read part 2, and probably like my favorites out of everything I read. But I will say my favorites, these are all my favorites. That's the thing. I'm so attached to all of these stories. They're so good. I'd probably say if I had to pick 3, has to be this one. I love the way she wrote this. Ooh, okay. I'll say funny story too. These 3 all came out this year, but they're all so good. Some of their best work. And I have to say Every Summer After. Go get these. These are the best. They're so good. I hope you enjoyed. Mom just called and asked to go get ice cream, which we've never done this at like 2 p.m. This is the weirdest day, but I'm kind of here for it. You're also at an angle, but I don't really give a shit. Like, whatever. Whatever. This is a very... I can't say it's a strange day, because it's fine. Oh my gosh, I want to read 11 Other Words again. Fuck, I love this book. I love this book. I want to go on Amazon tonight and get more books. I didn't get anything for Prime Day, because at the end of the day, I don't need anything. You know what I mean? It's nice to get stuff, but it's not necessary, and I'm definitely trying to be a better consumer. So should I probably finish all the books I haven't read yet? Yes. But in my defense, a lot of the books I haven't read yet are nonfiction. Boring. Oh, I think my mom's here. But I want to get a couple more books that are set in the summertime. And I need hangers and hair ties. So, yeah, I also want to try the EOS lotion. The vanilla one, but I don't need any lotion, so I'll probably wait and get that later. But yeah, I found my book. Oh wait, wait, ugh, whatever.